Hello there, this is Joey with American Dream U. This lesson we are going to show you how to create a personal website. It may seem kind of daunting right now, but don't worry, we will be taking you through step by step on how to do this. So, step one is you're going to want to get your own domain name. And what this means is if your name, let's say, is Robert Smith, you're going to want to own that domain name. You're going to want to own www.robertsmith.com. There's a couple ways that you can do this. So first, you're going to go to a hosting website like this, a domain website, such as GoDaddy. You can do it on Squarespace. You can do it on a bunch of different websites. You can choose which one you want to do it on. We don't have any affiliations with any of these. So I just went to GoDaddy. So again, let's say your name is Robert Smith. We're going to look for robertsmith.com. And we're going to search that domain. That's a very common name, and so unfortunately that name is not available. So what we recommend that you do is look for a domain name that, if your name is not available, just your first and last name, look for a variation of that name. Let's say your name is Robert Bryant Smith. You could go and you could type in robertbsmith.com, and then you could see if that is available. That is also taken, so then you can type in, Robert Bryant Smith, and so that one is available. So you might have to play around with it a little bit, but even if for some reason you start creating this personal website and you say, hey, it's not for me, we do recommend that you buy your domain name. It's $8 a year. You don't want someone else to own your name just in case in the future you want to use it, or something comes up, or there's another Robert Bryant Smith that is not the nicest person in the world, and when they search your name on Google, some other guy's website pops up, and he's not doing too many good things. So we definitely recommend that you buy this, and and so just add it to your cart, check out, and buy your domain name. And what we recommend is, it'll pop up 5, 10, 3, 2 years. We don't think, you're just starting out. We recommend probably 2 years to start out, and you'll get an email reminder to renew that when the 2 years is coming up. So don't worry about committing to 10 years of owning your domain name. We recommend just starting out with about 1 or 2 years, and then just proceed to checkout there and buy the domain name. So now that you have your domain name, we're going to jump straight into your personal website and building that. There are a lot of different services that provide templates and website building software for you to use, and they're all online. So this one is Strikingly.com. There's also Weebly, there's Wix, there's Squarespace, there's WordPress, and there's probably 10 other ones that I didn't just list. You can take your pick on which one you want to use. We're not associated with any of them. I'm not going to use Strikingly today because we have some sort of affiliation with them. It's just I've gotten used to this website. So I'll walk you through it on Strikingly, but they're all going to be pretty similar. So once you go to the website, it's going to ask you to sign up. So just put your name, your email address, and your password. So once you're logged in, this is what's going to come up. So you're going to be able to choose the different templates that Strikingly or Wix or whichever one you use already has. If you are thinking of starting a business, you can definitely check out the business templates. But because we are creating a personal website, we're going to be using the personal template. And as you can see, there are quite a few that you can use. it's really just up to you on which one you think would look best for what you are. You're kind of creating a brand when you do this. So whatever you want your personal brand to look like, that's the sort of template that you can use. So let's just choose this one. We'll start editing it. Now we are on the website. Because I've logged in before, my screen is going to look a little different than yours. When you choose your theme, what's going to happen is once you log into that theme, it's going to ask you to go through, if you'd like to go through a sort of tutorial on how to use the everything that comes along with this. And we definitely recommend that you do. It probably takes 2 minutes. It'll let you know what all these buttons do and how to play around with it. And I'll definitely teach you that as well, but you should definitely go through that first tutorial. So if you look at this website, you'll see a couple things. First, it's a completely done website. It's not your website and it doesn't pertain to you, but it is a done website, which is great because now all you have to do is fill in your information. So first things first, we're going to want a good picture of yourself. This one is just a small image. Depending on what theme you have, it'll be a bigger image. So what you're going to do is you're going to hover over it and you're going to click Edit. And then you're going to want to replace the image. So you can upload a new image by just browsing your computer, which I'll do now. Find this. So immediately you've got a pretty solid image up here of a headshot. And next we're going to want to change the name. So Robert Smith. And let's say that Robert Smith is a copywriter and brand expert. Whatever you are or you want to be, you could put aspiring, aspiring executive manager, or whatever the position you want. You can also put that in here. As we said before, this is creating your brand, so take that to heart. Whenever you put anything on your website, you're putting what you want to become. So as we continue to go down your website, you'll see lots of images, and you definitely want to add as many images as possible to your website. Really personalize it, and when someone comes and looks at it, it's got to stand out. So this is sort of an online resume, but the way you tell your story is going to be through those images. So not every image is going to be a headshot. Show yourself doing something that you love to do, or maybe with your unit in the military, you've got a nice photo, or for example, maybe you've spoken in front of an audience before and you have a good image of that. So this just adds some credibility. This person is Robert Smith is a brand expert, and having an image of this person speaking in front of an audience, a professional photo, just lends some credibility. So take that to heart. Don't put any blurry images. Don't cut off your head or anything crazy. Weird cropped images. Good quality images are important for your personal website. Now that you have some images in, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tell your story. So this individual, Robert Smith, is a copywriter and brand expert. So maybe he's a consultant that creates branding through good copy. So maybe his tagline would be building your brand one word at a time. I don't know. That's probably not a very good tagline there, but you get the idea. And then here on every single website, you're going to want a short paragraph or two explaining your story. You already had a lesson that talks about storytelling through Scott Mann and his warrior storytelling. So here, think about your past, what's important in it. Definitely touch on your military career, and maybe you actually are telling a story of one specific event that really changed your life and led to where you are, or maybe you're just more of give a brief overview of some things that you've done in the past and what you want to do, or maybe this part is just strictly telling what you're looking for and what you're passionate about. So I'm just going to leave this part blank right now. We're not going to add anything in. Share something powerful in this spot. This is the first thing that people are going to see when they come to your website. So you're definitely going to want to make them, once they start reading, you're going to want to make them scroll down after they start reading. So maybe there are certain parts of this template that you don't want. So maybe why does someone need to contact me right at the top? That's not important. So again, it's going to require you to play around. I can't teach you exactly what you're going to want to get rid of and what you're going to want to add. So maybe you just don't want this. You click edit, or maybe you want to change what it says. Maybe the text you want to say connect with me instead of contact me. So then you can change that pretty simply. And then you can, right here, you can tell it where you want it to go. Maybe you want it to immediately go to an email. And so here it's going to say mail to, and then you're going to put your email at gmail.com. So maybe this person's email is robertsmith@gmail.com. Or you want to remove it, so you click remove, and then there's no more button there. Another thing, maybe you don't like the layout exactly. So once you hover over this, everything is going to be pretty easily to hover. Just put your cursor over it, and it'll allow you to see how it lights up here. You can click on this. Maybe you want an image. You don't want just a black background. So for some reason you like this picture of some tall grass and the ocean behind it. So you click that, or these books. You like these books. You click on it. You can kind of play around with these different styles here. You can't read your name there, so you leave it like this. You hit save. Definitely just play around with it a bit. You click on the layout. Now name and email, you can submit that here. You click on it again. Maybe you're selling a book or a podcast and you can get it on the Apple Store or Google Play. Now the image goes away. Just keep playing with it until you find what you like. Okay, now I like my image on the left, so I'm going to leave it like that. A big part of this personal website is going to be your past work experience. If you're strictly creating this personal website to be a sort of online resume, then that's going to be critical to put near the top. So things I do here, this would be more of a consultant, or you want to do something on your own and you want to let people know what you can do for them, what services you can provide. But maybe that's not what you're going for. You're just creating this website to put an online resume, add pictures to that resume, maybe add a video, and share your story that way to potential employers. So things I do, that's not critical. So what I'm going to do is, I don't need this section. I'm just going to delete it. Are you sure you want to delete this section? Yep. Now this gets into past work experience, and this is what you're going for. So my work, I don't like the way that sounds. I'll put past work experience, how I've affected the world. You want to be creative, go for it. Companies I've worked with, maybe companies I've worked for. And then from there, as you can see, it's pretty easy to change all of these little things. This has 3 different past companies. Maybe you only want 2, so you hover over this and this X and you delete it. Or maybe you want 4, so you add another one, you add 2 more. We definitely recommend that with any of these If you don't have a picture of yourself within that role, well, if you do have a picture, maybe you were a sergeant major in the military, and you've got a picture of you with your uniform on. Definitely add a picture of yourself doing that in here. Or if not, maybe you worked for a company and you don't have an image of yourself. So, for example, this is just putting Monster. This is just adding the company's logo. It's a good idea to do that. So, again here, it's all about telling a story. So when you're adding the description, don't just say, I managed 20 people and made sure to increase revenue. That's not really explaining to these people what you did. Say something powerful. So for Robert Smith, this senior copywriter might make sense. So for him, he might say something like, consulted with 27 different companies, including let's just say Nike and Google, in developing their brand strategy, specific campaigns, increased engagement by 17%. Adding numbers, adding a story, and then even adding links. So within that, let's say specific campaigns, you have links to those campaigns or something that you did. Maybe you wrote an article. Maybe there's a news story on you. Up here, you can see attachments or links, and you can share a document. You can share a URL, and you can connect that way. So everything is interactive for the person going to your website, and they really get to know you a little better. As you can continue to go down, here are some testimonials. Let's say Robert Smith wants some testimonials, but he doesn't like this layout, so he's gonna change the layout. Doesn't like that either. That's too. It keeps getting closer together. He likes this better. I think this was the original layout, but I just wanted to show you how you can continue to change those layouts. Maybe he has pictures of these folks, or that he wants to add, or maybe pictures with these individuals of him doing business with them. So as you can continue to go down, you're definitely going to want to have a contact page. You don't want to say ping me, so you're going to say contact me below. And what's going to happen here is, let me go back. So you can edit this. So maybe you want that person's phone number as well. And once they submit their form, you don't want it to say thank you for your submission. You want to say, I look forward to connecting with you soon. And then you'll receive an email at this address when a visitor submits a message. So you're going to want to put an email down that you regularly check. So maybe it's robertsmith@gmail.com. And from there, you're going to hit save. So now the phone ads is also included, and whenever anybody submits a message, you're going to get an email saying their name, their email, their phone number, and what message they wanted to give to you. Let's say you are a consultant and you have an office. You want to add a map, and you're going to edit that map, and you're going to give your address. And from there, it's more interactive. They can see where you're located. So at the bottom, you're definitely, or at the top, depending on where this section is, where you can get connected, where people can connect with you, at least have your LinkedIn and your email. Those are going to be critical things. Maybe you don't have a Facebook or you don't want to give out your Facebook information. Maybe you don't have a Twitter, but for sure have your LinkedIn and your email. So this will be robertsmith@gmail.com. And to edit this, you'll give, you want to keep that image in there, but you can add a link like above how I showed you to the URL of your LinkedIn account. So just go to your LinkedIn page and hit the button Me, and then it'll take you to your LinkedIn page, and you can just copy and paste the URL at the top and add it into here. Let's say though that maybe Robert Smith, as a copywriter, he's got a lot of good material that he wants to share, and there's, based on what this website gave him, there's nowhere where he can really share his work. So what you're going to want to do, if you have anything like that, maybe you're a photographer and you want to share some photos, or an artist, just go to Add New Section, and from there, so Robert's a writer. Maybe he wants to add a blog, or maybe Robert has some great education that he wants to share. He's got his master's. So you can add these sections. So now the education is going to be up here, but maybe that's not the first thing that Robert wants to show. So he's going to click on this education, hold it, actually hold on the left side here, and he can move it to where he wants it. So maybe he wants it right below the testimonials. Now he goes down there, and his education is here. He went to NYU, pretty smart guy, and got a degree. So just play with this Add New Section, and there's a lot of different options here. You can just add text. You can add a sign-up form if you are a consultant. Maybe you have some sort of free giveaway, a little online ebook or something like that you want to give away. Below where it says Pro, you won't be able to. You can use these, but it won't publish to your website. So a cool one at the very bottom for most is Make Your Own Section. So you can click on that, and it says you've selected a Pro section. You can try this section out, but it won't show up on your live site until you upgrade to Pro. So what that means is you can add Make Your Own here, and maybe it's just going to be more about me. And you can add pictures, you can add more stuff, you can delete this here, whatever you want to do. But the thing is, if you hit publish, it's not going to show up. But the thing with that is, you are, because you don't have a pro site, but you're going to want to get a pro site eventually, because that's the only way that you can connect your domain name, the www.robertsmith.com, to this website. So no matter what, you're going to get a pro site. So don't worry about the fact that it says, it's not going to show up because you need a pro site, because eventually you will buy that pro site and connect your personal domain name to this website. Okay, a couple of important features that you're going to want to know about. Going up into this left-hand corner here, let's look at some of these different options that you can play around with. So first, let's go to Styles. And there's a lot of different options that you can choose here. Let's say maybe you don't like the font. You can go ahead and play with some different fonts. A lot of different options here. Maybe you don't like the color of the background, so you're going to want to change it to black. Okay, so next, so let's say this happens. As you see, let's say something like this, all of a sudden you lose everything on the left-hand side here. Pretty easy. Just look for all of the buttons are going to look similar. So just definitely, if you start getting lost, just hover over some of these buttons and you'll see that it takes you right back to where you need to go. So another very important feature that you're going to want to use is preview. This is basically what your website looks like, but if you hit preview, it'll take you to your actual site. Everything will be the same except for this top bar that will not be there on your actual site. So now this is what your website is going to actually look like. As you can see, Strikingly does a good job of making these animations look nice and clean. And you can actually play around with it. You know, what happens if I click this button? It'll actually take you down to testimonials. If I click contact, it'll take you down to the map. So definitely use the site preview feature so that you can see what your website will actually look like outside of that edit mode. It'll take you to a new tab, so whenever you're done you can just close out of that tab. Let's say you're ready to publish your website. There's a couple different things that you need to know. Once you publish your website, you can always go back and edit it. It's not like once you hit publish, you're stuck with this website for the next year. So even if your website is not perfect, we recommend that once you get most of it down, you publish that website right away. And how you do that, any of these websites, right now we're using Strikingly. If you're using Wix or Squarespace, it'll have a button that says something like publish or go live. Click on that button, and as you can see, the URL is going to be this random assortment of numbers and letters, and then strikingly.com, which this is why we had you buy your domain name before we started this process. If you did not buy your domain name, we really recommend that you do, because otherwise if you shoot this URL over to a potential employer, they will have no clue what sort of link you're giving them. But if you give them robertsmith.com, they will understand that that's your website. So you're going to click on use your own domain, and here's where you're going to need to upgrade to a pro site, limited or pro, to get access to that custom domain name that you bought at GoDaddy or any of those other sites. Alright, so click on upgrade, and every single one of these sites, Wix, Strikingly, Squarespace, they're going to take you to something like this. The free option is where you keep that strikingly.com domain. That's just the random assortments of numbers and letters. But usually there will be a couple of different options with different prices. Excuse me. So the most likely the middle option is going to be the best choice. So the pro option gives you the custom domain which you want with your personal domain name, but it gives you 3 sites, it gives you a store, it gives you a bunch of different things that you're really not going to use. Versus this one, you still get 2 sites, so you can have your own personal domain name, and let's say just for fun you want to start a side hustle, you can do that domain as well. So you're going to want to choose the middle option here, because it's going to have everything that you need. I mean, it even gives you a store. You can only sell 5 products, but for just having a personal website with basically an online resume, maybe a maybe a blog, that's really all you're going to need. So click on your start free trial. You can, if you really want to go for it, you can get a little cheaper option with 2 years. Put in your information and buy that website. So now that you have upgraded your personal website to pro or limited, whatever the upgrade is that you chose, What you're going to need to do now is go back to where you bought your domain name. So I showed you guys on GoDaddy. So if you bought your domain name on GoDaddy, go back there. And what you're going to want to do is in the upper right, you click on your name, and then you will click on the left here. It says Manage Domains. You're going to want to click that. And this is what it will take you to. Alright, so now that you're here, the first thing that you need to do is on your Strikingly website is when you buy that upgraded package, you need to make sure it's going to say which domain name do you want to use. It'll walk you through the process, but you're going to want to put in your domain name, so www.robertsmith.com. From there, you're going to go down here and you're going to choose your website and click on it. And then what you're going to want to do is from here, you're going to want to scroll down and click Manage DNS. And all this is going to come up, which can be a little confusing, but it's really not that bad. So once you get down here, you're going to want to go to this CNAME. The first one is going to say there's going to be two of them. Well, there may be more, but there's going to be two of them or more. So this one's email, FTP, www. Make sure you at least have one that says www, and then you're going to want to edit this next one. Right now it's pointing your hosting here, but you're going to want to change that. So first you're going to change the host to www, and then you're going to point it to dns.strikingly.com, and then you can leave this as 1 hour. And then from there, you're just going to hit save. And after you hit save, it could take up to an hour or so. But from there, once you type in www.robertsmith.com, GoDaddy and Strikingly or Wix or Squarespace, those two will sync up. And so when you type in that domain name, it'll automatically take you to your new personal website. So just click save and then you're good to go. Alrighty, we are complete with the basics of getting up your personal website. Have fun with it. There may be some problems that you run into. Do not hesitate to ask us anything. And use this website to your advantage. Throw it on your business card. Put it on the top of your resume. At the bottom of your email, you're going to want to point people to this. It shows who you are, it tells your story, and it shows that you're willing to go above and beyond than simply having just your resume. But telling your story in an online resume, that'll really resonate with those hiring managers. And honestly, we think it'll give you an unfair advantage over those other folks that are simply blasting their resume out to 50 different companies. If you have this personal website and it's polished and it's you, we believe that it'll really, really set you apart. So play around with it, make it your own, and you now have a website. So congratulations.